everybody, welcome back to Darvanalee Designs Studio. For those that don't know, my name is Nicole Reed and today we are here for a new start. I've already started it, just so you know. I started this for Chrissy's and Deb's birthday. So Chrissy is from Chrissy Stitches on Instagram and Deb is from Frog Cottage Design, and this is their birthday shout. Now they are best friends and their birthdays are 2 weeks apart. And Chrissy just recently celebrated her birthday, which was on Sunday, and Deb's was 2 weeks prior to that. So they do a birthday stitch, and this is you've seen this on my Flosstube. It's called Humming of Bees. It's by Blackbird Designs. That's what it's going to look like. And if you remember correctly, I was having a bit of a moment with selecting my fabric and all the rest of it. So I selected my fabric, which is sand, and it is hand dyed by myself. It is a product that I sell in my store, and yeah, so I'm actually in the process of currently updating my fabrics. I'm just waiting for supplies to come, so I will have more hand dyed products in my store very soon. I just have to rely on a supplier, and I'm curious to get it to me. Okay, so sorry about that. I just need to have a bit of a drink. Still getting the attack of the coughs when I get a dry throat. So yeah. So anyway, this is what it's going to look like when it's finished. Now, I was not sure whether I was going to use the DMC conversion or whether I was going to buy the floss for it, or whether I was just going to do a stash dive. I ended up going with a stash dive. And basically what I did was I swapped out some Gentle Arts threads for, now I'll just bring this under and hopefully we won't see too much of the chart. Let me just see what I can put on here so you can't see the chart. Let me just have a look what I have around me, which is absolutely bloody nothing. All right, we'll use this cloth here. This should be fine. And I'll just put a wonder clip on that, and then that way it's not going to now, I've made some notes here, and they're very archaic notes, but anyway, you can see there what we've got going on. Okay, so these are the flosses that I'm using, and it is a combination of Classic Colourworks and Weeks Dye Works. You can see they're just absolutely beautiful. If you want to see a really good picture of these, head over to my Instagram, and it's a couple of posts back, you'll see it. So basically, I have swapped out all the Gentle Arts threads, and I have ticked off the ones that I already had in, and then there's been some that I've swapped out as well. So pine needles was in the I already had here, so I took that from another project, so that is actually part of it, but we'll start at the top and work our way down. All right, so gingerbread, I swapped out to gingerbread from apple cider from Gentle Arts samplers, so that is that one. Caper I already had, which is this color just here that you can see. Cedar mill I swapped out for oilcloth, which is like a greeny sort of brownish color. I had some of that. Here, the camera is really not doing it any justice, but you get the general idea. I swapped that out, so if anybody that wants to swap things out, you can have a look. Colonial Rose I swapped out for Tennessee Red by Classic Colourworks. Okay. Corn silk I had in stock, so well, in my stash, so that's like a light green color, so that was good. We had that. Dove I also had as well, which is like a grayish sort of color, grayish green, I think it is. There we go. That is Dove, so it's like a greenish gray color, so I had that here. Harvest Basket I swapped out for straw, because it was sort of a strange looking color, and all I do is do a Google search and bring up, I find that 123 Stitch and Fat Quarter Shops, their photos are really good of their Gentle Arts. Yeah, they're really clear, although I think that Fat Quarter Shops is probably the clearest because it actually shows you the whole skein, whereas with 123 Stitch you just get a small snippet of it. So I swapped out Harvest Basket for straw for Weeks Dye Works. Old Hickory I swapped out for a Classic Colourworks Trail Dust, which was very similar in colour. Pine needles I didn't think I had, and I was going to change out for green, Garrison Green, but I ended up pulling it from another project that I had kitted up, there were several skeins in there, and because I'm thinking of doing them on a different size fabric, I have got more than enough in there. So, and that was what was it, Jack Frost's Tree Farm. So I ended up having pine needles, which is this green here, and putty I already had in my stash, and that is this one here, and I've obviously used that. I think I've used that in I think I actually used this colour in Strawberry Fields, maybe, because I've already used it in something. So I know it's not in, what was it? I know it's not in Cinnamon Stars, so I didn't get it from there. The other one, Sage, I swapped out for Taupe. Where is that? Let me just have a look. Taupe paper. There it is. Taupe again. The caper was like Sage was a little bit darker than this one, but I've just gone for that lighter color. It's different than the other greens I've got here, so it'll work for it. It was pretty close, but it probably had a little bit more of a darker color in it, like a more of a olivey sort of color, light olive. Okay. Weeks Dye Works Sneckleby. What did I change that out for? Oh, curry, I think I changed that for. Yeah. Yes, curry. So I changed that to curry. I wasn't going to use curry, but that was, I think that's how you pronounce it, Sneckleby. So I swapped it out for curry. It's probably a little bit lighter than what it should be, like it brighter, but I'm okay with it. It goes well with these colours. And I had another one to choose from, but it was too honeycomb looking. So I went with this one because this sort of, well, it does. It goes really well with these colours that I already have. Tarragon, I had that already, I believe. Or did I change that out for hang on a second. Let me just have a look. Tarragon is this green and brown combination. So yeah, so I've got that. I had that already. Now Tin Bucket is like a dark color, and so if I wasn't sure, if I couldn't get the color, I went and had a look on DMC, and then I sort of just mixed the two and come up with something. So I ended up coming up with this darker grey, and it is Blackbird by Weeks Dye Works, and it's going to look lovely on there. And the last one is Used Brick, and I'm pretty sure that I didn't write this down, but I'm pretty sure that I've swapped it out for Hazelnut. So Used Brick, I think, is going to be in the house. So yeah, so I just went for a brickish sort of colour, and this colour here actually reminds me of my grandma's house, so I thought I'd go with that one. And it's got some lightish colours in it, and it's mixed with a cream, with the straw colour, I believe, is the colour that it's mixed with. So I put them side by side, and I think that that is going to work really nicely for the house. So they are all the colours that I've done. If anybody wants this conversion, some people make up their mind as they're going. Other people want it straight away. If you want this conversion, just let me know, and email me at askme.dds@gmail.com. It's all linked up down below where you can get in contact with me, and I can send that through to you. Not a problem. It just won't be this week because I am away. You'll have to give me a couple of days to get back to reality. All right, so this is what I've done so far. I already had made a mistake. I counted off the wrong one. I had to frog it back out again, and I put it back in again. So we're pretty much good to go. I don't know where the heck I'm going to sit this, so bear with me while I find a place to sit it. I think that is going to be the place it's going to sit right now. Maybe behind that. I don't know. We'll work it out, won't we? Let me just move some stuff around there. I think it's going to sit there just nicely. You can't see it on camera, which is really good. All right, and just to celebrate the thing that we're working with bees, I've got a little bee honeycomb. And for the life of me, I cannot remember where I got that from. I think I got it off Ginger AU, maybe, on Etsy. No, that's the name that keeps coming to mind. I'll have to check. If I can remember or find where I got it from, I'll let you know. Or I may have made it myself. I can't honestly, I have that many needle minders, I cannot remember. Okay, so we are going to be doing some leaves by the looks of it, and we are working with taupe. So this was where the sage was going to go, and so you can see that pretty cool there, like pretty clear in colour. You can see the sage is just slightly darker, but I wanted it a little bit more greener. And is greener even a word? It just doesn't sound right, does it? So anyway, that's what we're going to be doing. I'm going to do a few leaves. I'll spend a little while with you today, and then I'll head off for the day. All right, so what are we looking for? Taupe. Okay. Now, this is the fun part, sorting through everything, trying to find everything. Okay. I haven't. Must have just had a piece already off that, so I've got my pencil to mark off. Just should be okay. And I'm just going to pull this off because I always forget that it's Weeks Dye Works that isn't cut, that you have to cut. All right, so it looks like I've already cut it. And I just cut this in half and work with shorter. Oh, I was going to sneeze then. That was going to be loud. All right. Sorry about that. I bumped the microphone trying to stop the sneeze. So, yeah. All right, I'm working with shorter pieces. I don't normally work with such short pieces, but with Weeks Dye Works, I just find it easier just to cut it in half than trying to measure out the lengths and whatnot. So, yeah, it is what it is. All right. So I'm pretty excited. Like, this actually stitched together really quick, considering that I made a mistake here and stitched all the way here, and then I had to frog it all back out, and then I stitched it back in again. It's stitched together pretty quickly, and Deb is, my goodness, she is flying along. So yeah, so I thought anyway, it's a new start, and I'd come on and do this with you, something different than Halloween stuff and Christmas stuff, something a little different. Now I am going to have to move this just a little bit. Now, where am I at? Okay, so I have to, I'm just going to pop that in. Now, when I do the waist knot, wherever I've ended, that's where I'll go back in, because it just makes it a lot easier to work out where we're going. And I am, of course, doing this in the afternoon, so I'm always a little bit, eyes are a little bit tired by then, so hopefully I can see what I am doing. Okay. And I'm a little a from it as well, so it's because I've got the camera set up, so it makes it a little bit difficult when you're not right on top of it. But it won't take me long to get into the hang of it. So far, I'm really liking the colours that I've swapped out. I'm happy with the colours. They look pretty together. I took a photo of it, put it up on Instagram. Deb liked my colour selections as well. So it's nice to just use what I've got in my stash. I was pretty happy that I was able to swap things out. And, I don't have to go for the exact shade either. So like with the curry one, as I said, I pulled out the, I think it was bee's knees, maybe, I can't remember now, but it was just too honeycomb. So I thought, no, I don't think I'll do that one. I'll just, I'll go with the curry. Because it went better with the colors that I had already selected. So that made it a lot easier too if you lay them all out together. And I laid them on the fabric as well. So as I was selecting them, I was laying them beside each other and laying it on the fabric. And then that way I knew that I was getting a really good, like how it was going to look on the fabric. And that's why I wasn't too fussed. Like, this has got dark bits in it as well. So I'm pretty happy with everything. So hopefully you like it too. And this will probably make a little bit of an appearance. So the hashtag that Deb and Chrissy are using is, and I'm probably going to be wrong, but it is Humming of the Bees birthday sale. but I will put that down below if you want to join along, because a couple of people did comment that they were doing it. So whether they've started yet or not, I don't know. And yeah, so I'm looking forward to this weekend, getting away, spending some time with some lovelies, and just really trying to get some downtime and relax. Even though I'm at a retreat and I'm looking after people and all the rest of it, it's just so nice to be up in the bunyas. Like, it's just such a relaxing place to be, and I love it. I just love going up there. I love the sounds in the morning, how peaceful it is. There's the occasional plane you hear, but there's no traffic. There's no anything really. Let me just lock that in place so we don't get it getting all blurry. So yeah, it's going to be nice to be up there just for the peace and quiet. I'm going to do a floss tube while I'm up there. And so you'll get to see the beautiful backdrop. And oh, I did too. The heck are you doing, Nicole? All right. Oh. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes you can do a little bit of reverse stitching. Doesn't always work. I've still got a squeaky chair. I do apologise. Just doesn't. The squeak doesn't want to go. I'm gonna have to pull it apart, I think, and get into all the nitty gritties of it. All right, let me try that again. I was up too far and across too far. As I said, I'm not real good at stitching at this time of the afternoon with all the bright lights and everything. My eyes are generally pretty tight. I generally close my eyes for half an hour before I do some stitching. And I just sort of do a little bit of meditation and stuff like that and rest my eyes and whatnot. But I haven't had a chance to do that today. So here's what it is. I usually take a break about, it's usually about 3:30, 4 o'clock. I'll take a break for an hour and then listen to a book or something like that or cook dinner that while listening to a book, and then I'll do some stitching a bit later on. I usually start stitching about 7:30, and I'll stitch for an hour or two. But I'm pretty happy with starting this. I'm pretty excited about it actually, because I'm so drawn to samplers at the moment. And I don't have a lot. I've got what did I have going at September sampler? I had Huckleberry Farm. One too many, Nicole. I had Huckleberry Farm, and no, that's right. What is going on here? Yeah, that was right. I see. Anyway, yeah, I had Huckleberry Farm. I have the one from the Gift of Stitching magazine going, that didn't really have a name. It was just a Bristol inspired one. I'm doing that in purple. And then I had the Jean Farish one, and I started the God Save the Queen one after she passed, and I stitched on that for the okay, I have made a mistake already. That is not right. That doesn't look right. I'm going to pull that out. I don't know what I'm doing. I think I made a mistake on this one here. Yeah, I made a mistake on the one next to it, I think. Let me just have a look here. Where did I go there? Yep, that's right. Just got, this is an even weave, but I think I've just pulled it a little bit too tight and it's just making it look a bit weird. So I'd rather just pull it out a bit and then redo it and get it to sit right. Fluffing around. So pretty much what I'll do is I will, because there's such gaps between, like from here to the alphabet, I'll probably end up coming down to the alphabet and getting that in place before I continue on with the border. There is a border a little bit further down here that's just a zigzag one. I'm probably actually come down a little bit further because then I've only got to count for that one. I've only got to count off three. And then I'm looking through my magnifier, so if I'm second guessing myself, that's why, because it's a little bit further than it should be. I can see the outline, so that's all that matters. Yeah, so, and then from that, I've only got like 5 to count, whereas from the top border to the alphabet, I've got a substantial amount more. It looks like to be about 8 to count down, and yeah, that's scary. That's when I start making mistakes, when I'm counting that far. So I'll probably work out which is the best route to go and then go from there. All right, so let me just have a look. I've come out there, miss that one, go down there, miss that one, go in there. All right, I think what I did was I went in one above it, and that's what was making it look a bit weird. That makes it look a lot better. All right, that's better. And then we'll count 1, 2. Sorry for those that are counting at home, but I am trying not to make a mistake here. Okay, come on, 1. Now we're cooking with gas. That looks so much better. Just finish off that cross. And then go up here, finish this one off. Much better. Don't you agree? Looks a lot better now. Okay. We've got one more here, and I'm then going to, the police are out today. They've been pulling people up left, right and centre. So yeah, they were everywhere. I went over to their workshop today to help Brendan get the Jag on the road because Savannah's got to use the Jag tonight for her formal, because it's her formal tonight. When you're viewing this, it's her formal. So yeah, so I had to go over and help him a couple of times this week to just, and that's why I'm sort of behind as well with some of my stuff, because I had to go over and help him, and it's important. He didn't want to let her down, and so yeah, so it was good. So I'm just gonna actually no, I will rethread that and I'll just end it off and start again down here. I don't want to jump to here, so oh, that squeakies are driving me crazy. Hopefully it's not too loud on your. I'm trying to sit as still as possible, but it's hard when you've got to lean forward and stuff. Yeah, so she's got her formal tonight. She's finished her exams. Yay for her exams being finished. All right, let me just get up under here between them. And yeah, so she's finished her exams. She's got her formal tonight. She's heading down the coast at the end of the month to go to a concert. She's going to her friends for a week. So I am glad school is now done. High school, at least, is now done. Thank goodness for that. It's been a mission. We've had some meltdowns. We've had some moments. We've worked ourselves up into a tears a couple of times. But for the most part, she's been pretty good. Like, she has been pretty good. Surprisingly, I thought that she was going to be more stressed than what she was. But yeah, she's done really well. She's taken it in a stride. As I said, we've only had a couple of meltdowns, so that's not too bad. Not too bad at all. And yeah, so she's just taken it all in her stride. She got mixed up. She was almost going to turn up at school to do her physics exam a day early because she got her days muddled. And I know what that's like when they were little. You got used to them going to school, then you'd rock around to school holidays and you wouldn't know what day it was. And yeah, so she's been a little bit kerfuffled on that. We've had a little bit of a talk about her going out and walking and stuff like that, because she used to walk everywhere, and then all of a sudden she stopped because she's not at school, and she's not walking up and downstairs at school every between each class, and she's not walking to and from school since she's got her license. So yeah, so she's trying to make a conscious effort to get out and walk for half an hour every second day, which is good, because it'll just clear her mind as well. So, but now we have the task of trying to find her a place to live, with the rental market being as terrible as it is. Yeah, so we'll see where we end up. I've been trying to get it into her head that it may be that she might have to do her first 6 months correspondence, online learning and whatnot, until she finds a place. She may have to defer for a year. So I've just been planting these seeds in her head just in case things don't go to her plan, and when things don't go to her plan, she gets a little bit uppity. So hopefully, yeah, we can find her a place sooner rather than later. She has made plans with her friend to move in with her, and another schoolmate is going to the same uni and asked if they could tag along. And basically they had a bit of a discussion about it, her and her friend, and the answer was yes. So it's actually, I feel a little bit okay about it, because it is a young man that's going to be moving in with them, and he is actually a year older than them, because he repeated year 12 because he didn't, or he repeated year 11 because his marks weren't up there or something. She did tell me. So yeah, so it'll be good that there'll be a guy there living with them. So, and they've known him for all their school life, so it's not as if he's a stranger or anything like that. So yeah, he's going to move in with them, which, as I said, I'm pretty happy about. And I started hassling her. I'm like, so who is this Jordan? And when am I going to meet him? And what are his intentions? And she's like, Mum, it's not like that. I'm like, I know, I'm just teasing. And it's been really nice. I've been watching Friends while I've been stitching, and the last couple of nights, she's actually come out and sat with me, and she never, and I mean never, sits in the lounge room. And she was sitting in the lounge room watching Friends with me. Brendan walked in because he was working late over on the Jag. And he walked in and he sort of looked at me, and I'm like, no. And then he sends me a text. He goes, it's so good that she's sitting out in the lounge room with you. It's not that she doesn't like sitting with us. She's a reader, so she'd rather go and sit in her room and read. And I can't begrudge her for that. Not at all. Oh, there it goes. So yeah, but we are at the end of the stress. That she's not worried about getting into uni or whatever, because she has a backup plan. Her auntie and uncle, my brother-in-law and sister-in-law, both work at a university, and they'll help her get in down in Adelaide if that's the case. I'm not real keen, and nor is she, to live so far away from home. But yeah, there's plan B there, and that was always going to be plan B. And then she'll have somewhere to live, and all that sort of stuff. They'll put her up and whatnot, so she has that option. And but that's our last resort, because she doesn't want to live that far away from home. Like she's never had sleepovers. She's had a couple of sleepovers as she's got older, but for the most part she has never been away from us. So to move so far away would not be great for her. Like, she's gone on camps and stuff like that, but yeah, she's not lived away from us. So I don't think she's ready to do that yet. Even I'm not ready for her to do that yet, but I know that it's inevitable. I have no say in it, and my own deal is my own deal, not for me to put onto her. And she wouldn't know how I felt, because I wouldn't make that known, because I wouldn't want to add that stress onto her. So, but she has that option as well. And yeah, but it also means that she's going to be away from her friend group, all that sort of stuff as well. And I know with social media she can contact them and be in contact with them and stuff like that, but it's not the same of being able to jump in the car, go and drive, and sit with your best mate, and your girlfriends, and have a chin wag and get the stresses of everything off your chest and whatnot. So yeah, but we'll see. We'll see where we end up. All right, I'm going to jump. I'm happy with that jump. It's going to be a long. Yeah, I'm going to do it. Oh, I don't need to do it because it's a different colour going there. Oh no, I've still got that one. Okay, it's all right. I often talk to myself when I'm doing this sort of stuff. So, and it's been a very long week. Still got a couple of bindings that I had to do on Thursday night, so I got them done. Yeah, so I've managed to get all the quilts bar one done. I was supposed to get 5 done. I got 4 done, but I just couldn't do it. I couldn't fit it in. I had and of course, on my busiest week, I had the hospital ring and say, "Oh, you need to come up," and because I've got to go and have a day surgery done, and I've been waiting for ages. I booked in to get it done, and then I got COVID, and then you got to wait mandatory 8 weeks before you can go, and then so it's been 8 weeks. So they called me up, which I'd already done this on the phone with them. So it was a bit of a waste of a time, but I went up there anyway. And they just asked me the same questions that they asked me on the phone. It's just pre-anesthetic thing. And yeah, so it's nothing major. That it's just a day surgery. And yeah, so I'm like, and the guy said to me, he goes, "You've answered all these questions before, haven't you?" And I'm like, "Yeah." He goes, "I'm so sorry to waste your time." He goes, but like, it just blows me out. They ask you all these questions about your past and all the rest of it, but didn't take my blood pressure to see what it is now. I like going on my word that I'm like, "Oh yeah, my blood pressure's fine." That how the heck would I know? I don't get my blood pressure done. And I just thought to myself when I left, like, you didn't even take my blood pressure. Like, really, is it just to keep you in a job? Like, you to ask a series of questions? Like, that's how I felt. Like, I know that that's not the case, and they'll do the blood pressure and stuff on the day, but it's just like, oh please. Yeah, so of course, and as I said, of course they ring on my busiest week, "Oh, can you come up?" And then you've got to sit there and you've got to wait, and it's like hours are ticking by, and it's like, I've got so much to do. And of course you can't take a customer's quilt to the hospital to stitch it while you're there. So I just listened to a book while I was there, and yeah. But like, geez, I could be at home doing stuff right now. But anyway, it's done now, and now I've just got to wait for a date. And then, yeah, get that done, and that'll be over and done with. And so, yeah. Now, as for next week, I don't know whether a Stitch with Me will go up on Monday. As I said, I am taking my camera up to the Bunya Mountains, and if I get a chance, I will do a Stitch with Me from up there as well. I might do that first thing in the morning while people are still sleeping, and I might not even talk with that one. I might just leave the sounds of the birds going in the background, and double checking I've got them in the right place. Yep. And I'll see what the sound's like up there, and see what sounds we can pick up. But yeah, I might do a Stitch with Me while I'm up there, and I'm doing a floss tube while I'm up there. I'm also I've got to, you know, of course I'm going up there to relax, but I'm taking my books with me. I've got a couple of books to review as well, so I'll probably do that while I'm up there because I'll have the camera and I can just set it up, and as I want to talk about a book, I can talk about a book. And as I said, most of that sort of stuff, and I'll see, I might not get it done at all, but the intention's there, isn't it? They're good. It'll be good to have a nice little different backdrop. There are books at the place that we're staying, so I could sit in front of those books and do my reviews. So got to finish off a vlog as well for the booktube channel. I've got just some different things to add into a video, so I'm doing a little bit of a vlog style. I've never really done one for, it's just more of like I'm reading this book and then do little updates like snippets and whatnot. But this one I've actually sort of, as I've been reading the book, I've been filming, like I've been out and about and whatnot. So I've got footage to add in and pictures and whatnot. So, but I have finally finished it, so I can do my final conclusions on the book. All right. Okay. All right, I'm going to end this one here because that's way too much of a jump. Come on. It's being difficult. That's it. All right. I might bring that other colour in now. So I'm just going to put that there in my little bird's nest because I'll be able to use that for 1 or 2 stitches because I'm sure there's some solitary stitches out there somewhere. All right, let me just have a look what colour I am switching to. It is the dash. Okay. Putty is the colour we're switching to now. All right. Let me see where my threads are. What did I just do with my needle? There it is down there. I think I'd use my needle minder instead of sticking it in the fabric. You have all the things and still just stick it in the fabric. Oh, that's funny. I don't know why. When I think of the colour taupe, I think of the colour like beigey sort of colour, not a green. Anyway, it is what it is. All right, the next one that we're going to be working with is putty, and this is a new... Is it? No, I've already got some off on that. It's one that I've used in a different project. I was quite surprised at how many I actually had of the colours and whatnot. This one's a bit longer. Yeah. So if you're wondering how to get the kinks out of this, you just run your finger along and it'll smooth it out a little bit. But if you've got a wet, like a sponge with some water on it, you just lightly dampen it. I don't actually have that here right now, and it'll straighten it all out again for you. I learnt that off Jean Farish. So, yeah. So I've got to get it. So she just has like a little Tupperware container, and she's got a couple of little kitchen sponges in it, and they're just damp, and she just runs her floss through it, and like she doesn't soak the floss, the sponges aren't soaked, they're just damp, and she just runs it through. Thread conditioner also works as well, but I don't really use thread conditioner when I'm cross stitching. Depends on the fabric. Like some of the fabrics I've had have sort of made the floss a little bit rough, so I will run that through a thread conditioner. but it's rare, really rare. All right. So if you watched yesterday's video, I hope you enjoyed that, doing a little bit of quilt prepping with me. That was a bit different. It's not something that I normally do, but I thought it was the only way that I'm going to get that quilt done. So quilt prepping it is. And I think it went pretty well. Got a couple of blocks cut. It's one way to get me to make my stuff. So that's the aim of crafting with DDs, is just to get my stuff done. Same as my Stitch with Me. That's working out really well because I'm stitching on that every week. Plus, I'm also trying to do a little bit extra on it. Whereas before, I'd put a couple of stitches in it and then I wasn't doing anything with it. It was just sitting in the drawer. So at least this way, I'm working on it each week and it's making progress. And it's coming along really nicely too. But I'm pretty excited to get that Among the Stars quilt done. I have another Fat Quarter Shop quilt on the go. As I said in that video, I think I'm up to block 4 or block 5. And yeah, so I've just got to make that block up. And I think I haven't progressed on that because I misplaced block 4. So yeah, I don't know what I've done with it. I'm pretty sure it is in a cupboard. I just haven't been into that cupboard because the cupboard is directly behind my floss. And I do know that I've got some block of the months and stuff in there. I've got a little mini quilt of the month that I was doing through. Oh, I can't remember who that was through. Buttons of Love or something, maybe. I can't remember. Anyway, Stitches of Love, I think maybe it is. And they had a monthly club where you got a mini quilt, like a little mini quilt. It was about 12 inches, 13 inches by 15 inches roughly. Not very big, just a small, and like it was different seasons and different events. It was very Americanized because it was from America. Like there's a Thanksgiving and a 4th of July one, which I think I gave the 4th of July one away. I was going to wait until after I'd done all the. No, I didn't end up doing it because I haven't finished it. I think I've done about 6 months of them. But these are all different things that I'm going to, that are going to appear on the channel, but they're things that you might not be able to get. They may not have them anymore. I know that the mini quilt one, they were selling the after the fact. So once it had done its club, they then opened it up to the public. So yeah, that looks all right. Like I don't mind the dark colour. It goes nicely with that green because there's little dark bits in that top. I'm happy with it. It's looking good to me. I've got to live with it, so that's all that matters, right? Yeah, so I've got a few things that I want to get done because they're just sitting in the cupboard and they're not getting done, and I would like to get them done and dusted because I really like them still. Some of the things I have, got over the years, I have moved on because I didn't like them or I just wasn't happy with them in the end. Like, taste change and whatnot. And I do that with my cross stitch as well. Like some things I really love at that moment, and then you know, I get it because I need to have it because I must have it in my life. And then I'm like a couple of months later thinking, oh, I don't know. So in those cases, like if it's a kid or something like that, I'll just sell it on. Some things I have, they're just been patterns and I've started and I just didn't like it in the end. I didn't like how it was looking and stuff like that, so I've moved them on. I've just UFO'd them because I knew that I was never going to get back to stitch them. And if I leave them in my cupboard, then they're going to just, yeah. And when I say I started them and then didn't like them, it was the fact that I just didn't like the pattern. I didn't like how it was set out and all that sort of stuff. There was an Autumn Stitchery one. I can't send that one on because that is actually a PDF, so I can't send that on to anybody. So basically I'd only done maybe 150 stitches in it, but it was such a struggle to do it because the symbols were so similar in shape and all the rest of it. I was just making mistake after mistake. I spent more time frogging, so I ended up just frogging out, recouping the fabric, and basically I only had one page printed off because it was a PDF, so I just printed off the first stitching page, and so I just screwed that up and threw it in the bin, and then it's out of my rotation now. I don't have to worry about it. And there was a couple other ones that I actually had the physical patterns that I put, like the paper patterns that I purchased, and I just moved them on. There was a couple of Christmas ones. I just, in the end, I really liked the look of it and the model stitch and all the rest of it, but when I started doing it, I just didn't like it. So rather than stitch on something that I don't like and sink a lot of money into it, I just frogged it out, moved it on. And then I got a couple of things in. I got a couple of mystery boxes a couple of years ago, Christmas winter mystery boxes, and some of the patterns were cute in it, but they were ones that I was never going to do, so I moved them on to new homes as well. I've done a couple of giveaways with charts that I know that I'll never stitch again, or stuff like that. So yeah, but I do have to, I was talking about this the other day, I do have to go through all of my whips and get it all onto a spinning wheel, and I'm just going to spin up at the beginning of each month. I'm going to spin up what I'm going to work on, and yeah, and then just focus on that for the month and try and get some more of these big pieces, because nearly all of my pieces are huge and they really need to make a dent in them. I really need to spend, a week out of a month on it. So even if I only have 4 pulled out, I think I said 5, and over 30 days, that's 6 days on. If I stitch every day, that's 6 days on each piece, right? Including my red dragon. So basically I thought I might bring that down to 4, okay, because most months have 4 weeks in them, and bring that down to 4 for the month, and then that way I'm going to get a good solid week on each one. But what I'll do is spin up what I'm going to work on for the month, and then I will spin the wheel to work out which 2 that I'm going to work on plus my Haid. So I'm just going to work on 2 projects each week and a Haid. So you'll get to see progress on Red Dragon, and then we'll get to see progress on we'll get to see a lot of progress, because I'll be working and focusing on let me just count. Sorry, I just looked and went, hang on, that's not the right spot. It was the right spot. I was just second guessing myself. Yeah, so I just thought, you know what, I need to really focus, and yeah, so that is what I'm going to do. So now what I'm going to do when I get back, I've got, and I don't know when these videos are going to go up, so I'm just going to get them recorded, and yeah, and try and get them as much as I can recorded, and then I can start editing them and putting together. So whether they come out as one video or they come out as a couple of videos, that's yet to be seen. But I've got to pull all my whips out, and I'm just going to catalog them. I'm going to do my new journal, and I thought I made a mistake then. I was see, directionally challenged. I'm going to do my new journal, and some of it will just be me adding it in with some music, and yeah, they'll just be videos that you'll get to see the process and stuff like that. Okay, so that is the plan. As I said, I don't know when they're going up, but I do know that they're going to go up between now and the new year. okay, because I'll go into the new year with my new dot journal, and I've got to get to Kmart as well. So because I thought I might have had a couple left. I grabbed a whole heap, and I've used them for my booktube. So I've got one for, like, I've got one for content ideas for both channels, and I only grabbed like 4 or 5. And then I've got one where I, because I find it easier to use the dot journals to jot down things for the magazine as well. So I've got one for the magazine, and then I've got one for my Read Around the World challenge, and they're all different colours and stuff like that. So, and that's where I keep my notes. So when I'm ready to film, I can just grab that, and I can collate all my notes into one place for the Read Around the World challenge. And then I've got one for notes on the books that I read weekly, and then I've got like an orders book and stuff like that. And they're just neat and tidy, and they stay, the book ones stay on the bookshelf, so I can just go there, grab them. I've got 3 for the book channel, and then I've got a couple for the magazine, and then I've got a couple for orders and stuff like that, like different orders that I've got. Some might be to make things, and others will be to do this, that, or the other, and fabric orders and all that sort of stuff goes in there. Yeah, so I thought I had another one, but yeah, I'll have to grab that. And yeah, and I've got a couple artistic journals going as well. Like, I've got quite a little collection of them. I'm getting rid of all my happy planners. They are bulky, they are hard to store, they are, I just don't like them. I mean, I like some of their products, don't get me wrong. I like some of their products, but the big rings just drive me crazy because they stick out, they catch on things when I'm moving stuff around, and they're just not, I don't know, they're just not streamlined enough for me. And normally that doesn't bother me, but these just really bother me. But I've got other things like notepads and stuff from them. I love that sort of stuff. That's really, I'm happy with those sort of things, but I'm just not happy with the planner itself. Let's drag this back down. I just had to, I normally have a spare needle or a counting pin here, but I don't even have that at the moment. Yeah, so I'm just not happy with the happy planner. It's ridiculous, but anyway, it's what it is. Will I get rid of them? Probably not. I'll just probably take the rings out of them and put them in a Ziploc bag, because there's a lot of information there that I've written down and whatnot. But I just find that they don't store well, where the dot journals are like little books, and they just sit nicely on a shelf. They sit nice. I can sit them up on my bench, and they don't take up as much room as the happy planner. And yeah, so I've got like hole punches for the happy planner and stuff like that. So I'm thinking that I'm just going to move them on, put them into a craft group, and sell them on and get them out of my cupboard, because yeah, I am reluctant to pull them out because I find pages fall out, and just there's a lot going on with the happy planner that I'm not happy with. So yeah. And I know I'm doing jumping, but yeah, anyway, what's going to happen is these are going to, like, this will get covered, so I'll be able to split that and I'll weave it once I'm done. I'll weave it through the back, because it's got another leaf here in a different color. Yeah, and I'll tidy up the back. It won't be a problem. Or I might leave it because, it's my piece. I don't care. I do stitching for the enjoyment of stitching, not the perfection of a back. I don't stitch for anybody, so it's not ever going to be a problem. But yeah. And like, really, I'm not wasting thread, because either way I would be weaving under this back to here, so it's going to be the same amount anyway. Yeah, I'm just being lazy. It's just the end of the day, and I'm just being lazy. I'll probably get, this border done, look at the back and go, that's atrocious, and fix it all up straight away. Because yeah, that's how I roll. So this will stay in its spot for quite some time now because I've got such a big area to work in, so I'll be able to do quite a bit on here before I have to move it. So yeah, I'll get everything that I can get done on this before I adjust the Q-snap. So I ended up doing a 3-inch border on this one because the piece of fabric I had was perfect. Like I didn't have to cut it or anything. It was 19 by 27. So I did the calculation in my little app, and I ended up having enough fabric there to have a 3-inch border, which gives me a little bit more options when I go whether I frame it. This will definitely get framed, but it'll also give me options for what type of frame that I'm going to use, and also what mats that I'm going to have around it, whether I can have a double mat and stuff like that, you know, really get fancy. So yeah, there's that. I think Savannah is going to be watching Friends with me again next week. Well, when she gets back, she said she'll. So I don't think I'm allowed to watch it until she gets back from her friend's place. So I'll have to find something else. I'm really enjoying the fact that she's spending time with me. I mean, she spends a lot of time with me anyway because she's done retreats with me, and you know, she comes out into the sewing room and stuff like that, but it's so rare for her to sit on the couch with me and just watch TV. Like the other night when she came out, I was actually just going to go and do some stitching. I was about to turn the TV off, and then she come and sat on the couch, and I'm like, oh, hey, what are you doing? She goes, oh, I'm going to watch Friends with you. I'm like, okay. We ended up sitting there. I didn't stitch that night, and I ended up sitting there until like, I think it was 11:30, 11:45. We were just watching Friends, but it was so good to hear after her meltdowns last week and at the beginning of the week. It was so good to hear her laughing because she had worked herself into such a tears that she was actually throwing up and whatnot. So she had worked herself up, and she was just. I think it was more about the fact that not so much the exams. I think it was more the fact that she was going to have to go to a social event, and she's not good with socialization with other people. She doesn't do peopling very well. Never has done. I am going to finish this off because I cannot see where it goes to next, and I'm guessing it's quite a, yeah. So as I said, with the other ones, I'll get my really sharp scissors because the scissors that I've got right now are not sharp in front of me, and my little tin ones are inside. So basically what I'll do is I will just snip that and then thread it through, and then that way it'll be nice and neat on the back, and no one will be any wiser. Okay, last time up. Alright, what's my next colour that I'm going to be pulling out? I think, okay, alright, this one is big enough to go back onto it, so I will just put that together and know that that is the colour that I used. Alright, okay, let me see, what can we do here? If I was to count down to my A's, oh, I don't know, I'm a little bit scared. That's a long way down. Look, I'll just show you a little tip of it. See, from there to there, that's a long way down. Chicken Little, call me that. Just call me Chicken Little. All right. Okay, let me just cross some stuff off. Talk amongst yourselves. Why I do this? I'm just crossing the stuff that I've done off. I know I've done, because otherwise I'm going to get confused where I'm up to. So I've done those. And, okay, I have not done that one up there, or that one down there. But I've done those two. Okay. All right, so I think I might do the heads of the flowers because, yeah, we'll just do that. How's that sound? Yeah, the one thing I didn't... Oh, there's some Smyrna crosses in here too, is there? So just notice that. Oh yeah, I see them. Yep. Okay. Oh, excuse me. Okay, so I'm using 2 strands, so I'm going to need double the amount that's here. Because this was done on 36 count originally, and I'm doing it on 32 count, and I do not do 1 strand. Like, I mean, I could get away with it, but I just like the look of it with 2 strands on 32. I like a really good coverage, and I don't have any problems. Like, some people say it's too bulky. I don't think it is. If I'm using like CXC thread, I would have, if I was using CXC thread throughout this one, I probably would have done 1 strand because that's a little bit thicker than DMC or the Weeks Dye Works and all the rest of it. But yeah, I'm thinking that I like it like that, and as I said, I've got to live with it, so that's what we're going to roll with. All right, so we're going to do some flowers now, the heads of the flowers. All right, so that's what I was looking at. The heart is used brick, and that one was the hazelnut I was using. Is that what I said? That's what I said. Let me just have a look. It looks like, no, it wasn't that one. Was it? Yes, it was. Yes, that was the correct response there, Nicole. And what other colour are we using? All right, we've got 3 colours in the flowers. All right, that's helpful. So what are the dots? So that's that one. And then we have the dash is oilcloth. All right, there's some strange colours for you. So we have this one, and oilcloth, which I think is this. No, that's putty. Which is, where is it? I just had it before because I had that in my stash. Putty. Oh, there it is. Oilcloth. So they are the colours of the heads of the flowers. Interesting. All right, so the first one that I'm going to be working with is the hazelnut. So that is on Weeks Dye Works, so I've got to pull that out because that is painful. And oilcloth, let me just get that out. Actually, I'll just start with that one. All right, let me just pull this out. And I think I'll just pull a strand out a little bit longer. All right. I always forget like that Weeks Dye Works isn't cut, and I go to pull like 1 strand out of it, and then I make a mess, hell of a mess. So yeah, I usually go through and cut them all and then put them all back on their little floss drops, but I haven't done that this time. I just got the colours out and yeah, went from there. And then I just wrap them back around like so, and then I put a little snippet because I don't take these off because they've got the holes in them. I don't tend to take these off and put them on floss drops. I probably should, but I don't. And then I just hold it there. You know, as I say, waste not, want not. I can utilize them until they break, and then they'll go on a floss drop, or they'll go on a bobbin or something. All right, I'll probably just do, I think it's the first 2 we have, these 2 here, and then we might call it a day because I've already been on for an hour. Mainly because I was being directionally challenged and I couldn't work out what I was doing, and I had to book out and doing a lot of waffling. Okay, so all right, this is going to be easy enough. not much. There's a slight variegation in this one, not very much. I could have probably got away with using a DMC for this one, but I've got them there, and I don't often use like I've got a fair stash of these Weeks Dye Works because back in 2019 when I first started, they were selling, I don't know if they still do, but they were selling packs of like colorways. So you had like primitive colors that we use most often. They had like bright, spring, Christmas, all the ones that that are mostly used and that. So I bought a couple of those packs and just had them here. Had them in, I think there was like 10 in a pack from memory, something like that. So I just had a whole heap of them here of different colors. I haven't used much of the brights, but they do come in handy to just have there, and just put a little splash here and there. And so I've had them there for a while, and I've also kitted up a couple like Cinnamon Stars. I loved all the colors in Cinnamon Stars, so I kitted up with that. And so there's been a couple that I've been really attracted to the colors of the floss, not so much the chart. Like the chart, yes, I like the chart, but the floss is what has drawn me to it. So when I get a piece like that, I will kit it up in the called for colors. But for the most part, I use the CXC or DMC. But I just thought, you know what, I've got all these flosses there. I really should use them. So that's why I decided to do the color conversion. And while some of them will be okay, others might be a little bit off the mark, I'm okay with that because I'm using up what I've got. And I ended up using my own fabric as well. So really all I had to do is start. So that's why I sort of went this route. And so far I'm pretty, like, I love the color palette. Like when I look at it against the fabric, I really like it. It's got a little bit of brightness to it. It's got, some autumn colors as well. It's going to go perfectly with some of the other charts that I've got as well. Like I've got Strawberry Fields Forever by Blackbird Design, but then I've got other ones from Plum Street Samplers because they're one of my, I really like their things. I've got Cinnamon Stars, and then I've got a couple of other autumn ones as well, and there's like a myriad of other ones that I absolutely love and adore. I've done a few of their free ones. They've got quite a number of free ones on their website as well. So yeah, so I just thought, you know what, I'm going to use all of these flosses that I have and make a dent in my stash. And it's good. I didn't have to wait for anything. Like I might have to purchase one here or there to replace it, that because I'll run out because I've pulled it out of my stash and it's already been used in another project or whatever. But yeah, like, that doesn't matter. It's better than having to buy all of them. And yeah, and I'll just go through a stitch in time and with them and get it from them because she gets her stuff out pretty quick and she's got a really good range and whatnot. So yeah. All right, there's the first flower. So I'm definitely not going to jump this because it's not going to be covered by anything, but I will come down to this one here because it'll hide a little bit better. Right. I'm pretty happy with my progress. This is only 2 sessions. So that first one, as I said, I actually done a bit of frogging in that first session, so I probably would have been a little bit further along with my border. But I'm sort of just working on one page at the moment. I think I find it easier if I just stick to the one page, get everything that I've got to get done on this as far as I can go down. And then I'll do the second page as far as I can go down, and then I'll move the Q-snap. And then that way I'm only going to be really moving it the once, I'd say. Update on Halloween Quaker. I haven't frogged anything out of that. I figured that I'll just wait till I get back from retreat, and I'll spend an evening and frog out what I need to frog out so I can continue on with that. I mean, I could stitch on. I think I've actually got it in my retreat bag, so I might end up doing a little bit of stitching on it up at the mountain, but I don't know. We'll see where we go. Anytime I've got a big frog out, I tend to like put it in the naughty corner for a while till I make friends with the fact that I've got to do that. So yeah, we'll see where we end up. See how we go. That looks all right. I'm pretty happy with that. What do you reckon? All right. A couple more stitches to go in. A little bit more progress. As I said, we will have a floss tube from up at the Bunyas. I don't know what day it's going to go up. Actually, it's probably going to go up on the Monday because I won't be able to edit it until I get back. And I don't think that there's enough internet, like cell service up there to do a live stream. So yeah, it'll be a case of, and there's no Wi-Fi or anything up there, so, and anything that's hotspotted from my phone, that's going to take a while to do. And I'd prefer not to take my computer up there anyway. So this will, the floss tube will probably go up. I don't know. It'll either go up when I get home or it'll go up the following Friday. We'll just see what happens. We'll just see what happens, because there's no point in stressing myself out about it. I do know that I'm going to film up there though, so it'll probably be on the Monday when I get home. I'll put it up because it won't take me long to edit it and get it up. It'll probably be Monday afternoon at some stage. But I'm about to put my last stitch in and call it a day. Go and cook some dinner. All right, so there we go. We have got some stitches in and I'm pretty happy with that. I'll just have to cross them off before I forget. Let me just have a look. Let's cross that out, cross that out. Nice, nice. I really should make a working copy of that so I don't wreck that booklet. But anyway, that's what it is. All right. As I said, I'm going to call it a day. Thank you very much for, I spent a little bit longer than I thought, but anyway, thank you very much for joining me today. I do appreciate it. I hope that you all have a fabulous weekend and get lots of stitching in yourselves. Again, if you're new here and you've not yet subscribed, make sure you hit that subscribe button and the little bell icon beside it to all notifications, and then that way you're not going to miss out on any future crafty uploads. And leave me a comment down below, and let me see, leave me an emoji of a flower down below, your choice, any flower down below, and that way I know you've made it this far. While you're all down there leaving comments and everything, make sure you like this video, give it a thumbs up so I get seen in the algorithm. But that's it from me today. Have a wonderful day, everybody. Until next time, happy stitching. Bye for now.